Did you know that showering with your contact lenses can become very risky for your eyes, leading to blindness? We'll have those details plus other risks that you should be aware of. Now, actually, Seth and Colleen, that bomb squad actually arrived about 45 minutes ago. And joining me is Todd Gatula here with updates about what's been going on here this evening. Now, Todd, what are some of the things that you've, I guess, heard from officials out here? Good morning, Jessica. And, you know, there's a lot of people that want to just get on social media and report those power outages, but that's the #1 thing that services here in Grand Island and surrounding areas want you to not do. If you haven't made it out to any pumpkin patches so far, you want to make sure you come out to this pumpkin patch. We'll have the details coming up. After almost 2 hours of debating whether to override or keep Governor Ricketts' veto on LB 947, state senators voted to override it with 31 to 13 and give Dreamers the opportunity to get jobs as teachers and nurses, among other occupations.
I am super excited. I think there is no negative side to this bill. It only impacts the community in a good way.
Although the bill does not affect Ruby directly, she says Nebraska will be able to retain progressive young students that are doing something positive for the state, like Paola Carrillo, who arrived in the U.S. when she was 5 years old.
Without this, I wouldn't be able to practice, and I wouldn't be able to get my professional license and do what I want to do with my life.
She wants to get into the medical field as a public health practitioner, and with the approval of this legislation, it will not only allow her to further her education, but her sisters as well.
My little sister, she's going into education and she wants to become a teacher, and it'll affect her as well because she'll be able to get her teaching license and be able to practice being a teacher.
Governor Ricketts says that this creates a big injustice for those who follow the law.
Most Nebraskans don't believe it's fair or right to give benefits to people who came here illegally. And so my veto of 947 was really along those lines of the principle involved here, that it creates a huge injustice for the people who are following the rule of law.
Ruby says this will allow young immigrants to do what they love and contribute to society.
It was either change their major to not pursue what they actually loved because they weren't going to be able to do this, or it was pursue it and then see what happened and hopefully they would get to do something with it.
The holiday season is a magical time of year, and when I take a bite of something enchanted here at Enchanted Bakery. Itchiness, redness, and even pain, all because of sun exposure. Summer is almost here and kids are out playing in the playground, but one thing you need to make sure is that you have the right sunscreen.
I have a lot of freckles and I've gotten blisters from sunburns before. It is very painful, and I've learned my lesson from that.
A day like this, maybe 80, 90 degrees. Last time I didn't, all the skin peeled off my back, and it was painful.
A painful lesson you or someone you know has experienced. And believe it or not, anyone, regardless of their skin color, can get a sunburn.
No matter what kind of skin type you have, whether it's brown or black or some variation thereof, you definitely have risk of sunburn, but less risk of skin cancer.
Other risks can even include an allergy to the sun.
There are several different syndromes that we see. One of them is called polymorphous light eruption, where they literally do have a sun allergy. Usually that's to UVA. UVA can come through windows, so you can react even in your car or in your home.
Or people can develop an itchy rash, tiny bumps, or slightly raised patches of skin. But there are some things you can do to protect your skin from the sun.
Long sleeve clothing, especially thin long sleeve clothing, can help. A hat instead of a cap. Sometimes the wind's blowing, so a hat's impractical. So we ask people here, regardless of their skin type, regardless of whether they've had skin cancer or not, or precancers or not, just be sun practical.
With the different types of sunscreen to choose from, Dr. Kingsley says it all depends on what you need.
30 blocks somewhere, depending on who you read, it blocks somewhere between 95 and 97% of the sun's rays. A 50 will block about another percent. 100 will only block another fraction of a percent.
But if you see a mole that has changed color or have sores that won't heal, it is best to see your doctor. For NTV News, Carmen Montes.